haven't gotten a notification that they went live yet. Oh, we are live. Hey, we're live. There we are. Hello. Well, we're so excited to be here. Truly. Like, this is such an amazing thing to be here with Shawna and to be able to talk a little bit more about the projects that we've been working
on. It's great to be here. I'm happy to be here with Carrie. Carrie and I didn't even really know each other about, 6 months ago or so. We had a phone call. We had a really interesting conversation on the phone one day and found out we had a lot in common and decided we would write a song together someday.
Yep. And I was silently freaking out inside completely. So I was so excited to have this opportunity. We thought that we would just introduce ourselves a little bit. Some may not know, most people won't know who I am, but a lot of people will know who Shawna is. But I thought I would give a little bit of my backstory just quickly on who I am and what I'm doing, I guess. So I live in a small town in Idaho. I am a farmer's wife. I have 7 kids. And I had never even thought about writing a song until about 3 years ago. I got sick with an autoimmune disease called ulcerative colitis. And in the world of diseases, it's not a pretty one. And I was forced to stay home a lot of the time and give up pretty much anything that I liked to do or wanted to do. And God was involved, and he introduced me to somebody who had started to write music, and it was like the heavens opened about what I was supposed to be doing. And the last 3 years I started writing in my closet quietly so nobody would know. I wasn't very good at the beginning, but I kept trying, and within the last year I've put out some songs, and it's just been, I mean, you know, the crowning moment is writing with you, obviously, and I just feel so grateful for all of the miracles, basically, that have led me here. So it's a little bit about me.
I'm Shawna. I am a mom and a grandma. We have, my husband and I have 5 children, and we have going on 19 grandchildren. And I started writing songs about 15 years ago, and I started putting them on YouTube. And it's been a really surprising, wonderful journey for me. And I've met people and gotten to know them through, you know, social media and email and other things like that all over the world. And from all different Christian faiths and from some non-Christian faiths or faith background with no faith. It's been a great, like I said, it's been a great journey for me. And I've also learned and grown my own faith through the process. And I have never written a song that I felt like we had more miracles on than this song. I told Carrie when we talked about writing a song together, I said, I'm not a very good collaborator. I usually just do my own, and I've collaborated quite a bit with my sister. But other than that, outside of that, I haven't collaborated a lot. But I did tell Carrie in our first conversation that when you're doing this kind of a thing and you're involved in sharing Jesus Christ and his gospel, that you can expect miracles. And we certainly had them on this project, didn't we?
Yeah. Just going back to that first conversation that I had with her, like she had told me about an experience that she had with a singer, and how you walked into Hobby Lobby or something, and there was like this perfect, like something that was like a lyric of, she had just gotten in some kind of accident, and you walked by it, and there were the lyrics that she sang, and it was like Heavenly Father was just like, hey, Shawna, this is what you need to say to her. And it's been, you know, I wouldn't have ever since I started all of this, like I had no idea, truly no idea what would happen over the course of a couple of years. Like every single time, you're exactly right. Like every single time you do something that magnifies the Savior's work or his words, like it's just like the loaves and fishes. He magnifies everything that you do. And I've shared that over and over again, that whatever it is you have to offer it, because that's exactly what happens. Is God just, here you go, I'm going to help you in any way I can. You know, if you're doing my work, I will help you. And it's been apparent so often in my life, especially over the last couple of years. So
yeah, you know, Carrie, I talk about this all the time, that I literally sometimes will picture putting a song in a basket and giving it to the Lord, because nobody, I mean, I've never written a perfect song. And if I waited to write a perfect song, I wouldn't have any songs out there at all. And so, you know, you're dealing with the rest of your life. You can't just give that up. And you only have a certain amount of time to do a song usually. And so you do it and then give it to the Lord. And this doesn't just apply to music. It can apply to every good thing you're trying to do in your life. Do the best you can, then give it to the Lord and let him magnify it. And you'll see miracles happen. I really believe that. That's happened over and over and over again in my life.
Yeah. So when I mean, I have not done a whole lot of collaborating either. So this is actually the first song that I've ever put out as a collaboration. I have a couple others in the works, but it's the first time that I've actually put something out with someone else. And like,
and now everybody else is easier.
What's that? No. So Shawna told me, you know, I'm not a very good collaborator. And I have felt like you have always taken my opinion and you've allowed me to do the things that I wanted to do. And it's been great. It has been different than what I thought it would be. When you write, let me tell you a little bit about writing with Shawna Edwards. She will perfect it in every possible way she can, to the point where she feels very, very good about it. I mean, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've already sent the sheet music to the kids. It doesn't matter if the song is supposed to come out in, 5 days. She will make the changes necessary, and she'll put in the work to do that, when I probably would have been just like, it's fine, just leave it. And I have loved seeing like that side, just being like, don't just put it out because it's done in the studio. I mean, you've been back, what, 3 times on this song? There's been things that, like, we recorded it, or we sent out the sheet music to these kids, and it had a pre-chorus in it, right? And then
it was too long.
And then we both felt that, like, we both felt, oh man, this is too long. And so we cut out the pre-chorus after we'd send it to the kids. And I probably would never have done that, but I have learned so many good little things, like, I can do that. I don't have to just be okay with just, it's good. It has been so good. Like, there's been things that I've learned from you that I would never have been able to learn in any other way. So yes, I've appreciated everything that I've learned from you, Shawna, more than
well, I think that we probably wrote 3 different songs, didn't we? We started with one thing, and then it moved to another, and then literally we changed the whole thing. But when
like 3 weeks ago, this was like 3 weeks ago, when I was coming home from my son's state football game. Okay. And all of a sudden she has this different idea, and then I have a different idea for the video. And then all of a sudden everything was out, basically. And we started from scratch again. And then we wrote probably, at least myself, I didn't see everything that Shawna did. So I probably wrote 300 lines in in probably 2 days, just trying to get, I'm like, we don't have very much time, but we both felt like, yes, this was the direction. And sometimes it just takes that long, right? It takes so long to get to the point where you're like, we started on this in June. We talked about the topic in June, and we started kind of sending ideas around. We wrote several different like versions or different ideas, maybe verses, and then or different choruses, different melodies. And then finally it was like really three and a half weeks ago that we finally were like, this is it. This is the direction we're supposed to go.
Yeah.
And then we had a lot of work to do because of that.
Yeah. And when we finally hit on it, we knew it. And we just went forward with it, and we changed what we needed to, and then we went forward. But then the miracles just fell into place. And I'm just going to tell you too, we were going to set up on a Friday and film on a Saturday. And on Thursday, I'm working with a producer, and I asked him if he would help with this video. And on Thursday, I called him and I said, I feel like we need to go up to the venue because we hadn't seen it inside. And so we drove up to the venue. It's about an hour away from where I live. And we hadn't realized it wouldn't work at all. And so all of a sudden, we were a day before setup, and we didn't have a venue. So I literally called an old friend of mine who lives up there and said, hey, we need a barn in this area that we can use as a venue. And she said, well, this lady that lives on the street over next to me has a barn that she rents out. And in about a half an hour, we had a new venue. And then we really wanted it to look Christmassy on the outside of the barn. And Saturday morning, it snowed. And it was the most beautiful snow with these great big white snowflakes. And I don't think it snowed in the valley any other time this year, before or after, but that 2 hours we had that beautiful snow. And we're going to play a little clip of the video, and you'll be able to see that at the very end.
Yeah. So I was going to share a different miracle. This was a little earlier on. So 4 years ago in 2020 during COVID, I was prompted for the first time ever to sing my girls on social media. And I didn't even remember that I'd done this. And it was Shawna's song about miracles. And my little girls are in there, and one of my kids is singing like gusto. And all of a sudden, like, I mean, we're all singing her music, right? And fast forward 4 years. I did this even before I knew I could write music, even before I had even thought about it. But she was the first person to inspire me to share music on social media. That was the very first time I'd ever done it. And 4 weeks ago, I got a notification on Facebook that said, you have a memory to look back on. And here I am singing one of her songs about miracles while I'm writing with the woman that inspired me to sharing music. And I sent it to Shawna, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even remember that I'd done this. But you were right. You know, the fact that I didn't even know that I could write music at the time, but you were the one that inspired me to start moving in that direction of like being confident about sharing music on social media. And it's amazing that, like, you know, that God knew that this would be the time 4 years later that I would be writing with Shawna Edwards, and that I was going to need to sing it in November, and that I would need that confirmation. And it was just like this beautiful, like, gift from heaven. Like, I'm involved in all of this. You need to remember that I'm here. Anyway, it's pretty awesome.
Okay, Carrie, it's been a joy to write this song with you. We're so excited because we're going to be releasing it this coming Saturday, so 2 days after Thanksgiving at 10 a.m. And we hope you will join us. And more than that, we hope you will join us in making Christmas more about Jesus this year. And this is a little teaser. It's a little tiny bit of the video at the very end, and we're ready to spin that up.
Mm-hmm.
If we make Christmas
I just want to say thanks to Carrie, and also thanks to Kelly Ditto, who was our videographer on the project. And he's spectacular. Love him so much. And to Ethan, who is our producer. And to the Zion's Youth Choir, Jaron Packer and his beautiful choir, all those kids and their parents, you're amazing. We love you.
Truly, it couldn't have gone. So somebody asked me the next day, we got home, church day, and they said, how did everything go? And I just said, yesterday was a gift. For all the work and all the, there were sleepless nights. There was a lot of there were some tears on my side of okay, what is this supposed to be? How, when you know that you're writing for a lot of kids to be able to see this in the future, or adults, anybody, and you know that, that your words hold weight. You want it to be exactly what God wants you to say. And that was heavy. And it always feels heavy, I'm sure, especially for you, Shawna. It just is something that we don't take lightly. But where we both felt so strong about this message, we want to do something a little bit different this year with this song. And on Saturday when we release it, we're hoping that every single one of you will get on, that you will put this on your social media, and then you will put the one thing that you're going to do this year to make Christmas more about Jesus Christ. We have put in, I feel like I've given my everything to this song. I feel like I gave everything that I could. And I know that Shawna has too. The amount of work behind the scenes is incredible. But we tried to make this exactly what the Savior wanted from us. And now it's up to our followers and the people who follow Jesus Christ. And we can't do it without you. So if you'll share the song and you'll share what you're going to do, I think this year is going to be a lot more about Jesus.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Saturday, 10 a.m. We're on a mission to make Christmas more about Jesus this year, and we hope you'll join us. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Shawna.